Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. And if you are new here, my name is Hannah. I am a Western Practical Astrologer. Okay, so in today's video we are going to be talking all about the mythologies of Taurus, Mesopotamian, Egyptian and Greek. That way you can gain a deeper understanding of this central sign. Stay tuned because we are going to get into this. But before we do, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and click the bell. And if you are interested in booking a reading with me, then you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. There you can also find my practical astrology ebooks, guide, merch, cheat sheets, all that good stuff. All the links to these products will be in the description box down below. And if you want extra astrology content early, daily forecasts and guides, head on over to my Patreon. And I just want to say thank you so much to my patrons over there. As always, I hope you find this video to be helpful. Let's do this. Alright, so first and foremost, I just want to give a massive shout out to the author of this book, Astrology for Lovers, Liz Greene. I highly recommend this read. Thanks to Liz Greene's knowledge, I have been able to make this very series. So let's start off by turning our attention to ancient Babylon. The constellation of Taurus was referred to as, I will insert the words right here, the Bull of Heaven. Taurus is one of the oldest recognized constellations, and the identification of the constellation of Taurus with a bull is old, like really old, dating as far back as Chalcolithic times, even to upper Paleolithic times. You know, when they used to tell stories through cave paintings, this period saw the emergence of more sophisticated tools. The constellation of Taurus is home to the Pleiades, also known as the Seven Sisters. Pleiades is an open star cluster, a cluster dominated by hot blue luminous stars that have formed within the last 100 million years. It is suggested that the Pleiades derives from the meaning, so the plein, so Plein, meaning to seal, because of the cluster's importance in marking the sealing season in the Mediterranean Sea. And the Seven Sisters were nymphs, said to have been associated with rain. They were actually quite friendly with the moon goddess Artemis, and many of the gods had affairs with these sisters. But back to Taurus. Then again, perhaps that information to do with the Seven Sisters also says something about Taurus. Still, long ago, did you know it was actually the bull that marked the vernal equinox / the spring equinox? This was around the early Bronze Age. We talked about this in the Aries mythology video, and then eventually Aries marked the beginning of the astrological year. Indeed, when the Babylonians first set up their Zodiac, the beginning of it all was given to Taurus. But there is also some claims to suggest that it was the hired man who marked the beginning. In modern times, of course, this is Aries. So let's get into the Babylonian mythology. In the old Babylonian epic of Gilgamesh, the goddess Ishtar, aka Inanna, sends Taurus to kill Gilgamesh. Inanna is really annoyed with Gilgamesh because, well, Gilgamesh rejected her advances, but the bull actually ended up being slaughtered. The back of the bull's legs were torn off and then hurled into the sky, and they became the stars we know as Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. These star constellations are referred to as the Great Bear, being major, and then Little Bear being minor. I know, how cute. And then when looking to the art of the Mesopotamians, Inanna and the bull are closely linked. Of course, Inanna was the goddess of sexual love, warfare, and fertility. However, according to world history, Inanna was never a mother goddess. Yes, she was associated with love, sensuality, and procreation, but she was also associated with violence and war. Now, this information is quite useful to us, which we will explore more about within the Greek mythology segment. But Taurus is a highly sensual sign. This is the first earth sign in the zodiac. It is also fixed, and fixed energy in astrology is about sustainment. Leo is the sustainment of life force, as mentioned in the Leo mythology video, but Taurus is the sustainment of security, thinking about food, water, shelter, procreation, and love as well. Leo, of course, also points toward procreation and love, but Taurus is about the tangible, the physical. And at the same time, this sign has a side to it that can be, well, unhinged, angered, possessive. It's interesting to think about, but also consider how cows and bulls graze. Cattle grazing is crucial for a healthy ecosystem, for the sustainment of a healthy environment, a healthy climate. To think that in the Aries mythology video, we explored Domasu the shepherd, who was associated with agriculture and, well, shepherds. We talked about the ram, Aries, and about the value of sheep as well. In fact, the split in sheep hooves helps break up the soil. This then helps spread seeds so new plants can grow. I know, how fascinating. And because the soil has been loosened, the plants can absorb the water and the nutrients. Aries the ram, followed by Taurus the bull. These farm-like animals seem to play a vital role when it comes to our very survival. All right, so let's now move on to the Egyptian mythology. So in Egypt, ancient Egypt, there is the cow-headed goddess named Hathor. She was the goddess of love and joy, fertility, and motherhood. She was very much a goddess connected to the earth. Her depiction as a cow symbolized her maternal and her celestial aspect, but she was often shown as a woman wearing a headdress of cow horns, and this had a sun disk on it as well. She was the mother of sky god Horus and sun god Ra. She was known for her maternal care and love, but she would also act as the eye of Ra. So the eye of Ra was the feminine counterpart of sun god Ra. This eye was like this extension of Ra's power. And so one of the roles that Hathor played was protecting Ra from enemies. Therefore, there was this side to Hathor that could be violent and vengeful. She destroyed anyone who would mock her father. Yes, Hathor was both a goddess of destruction and a goddess of love. Her name literally meant the house of Horus. Now, Hathor was early associated with Sekhmet, whom was talked about in the Leo mythology video, if you remember. And then she was later associated with Isis, who was the goddess of healing and magic. Isis was the sister and the wife of the god Osiris, ruler of the underworld. She and Osiris are said to have fallen in love even in the womb. Now, there was also the bull named Apis, so A-P-I-S. Apis was a manifestation of the pharaoh and was strongly associated with Hathor's goodness and bounty. He was the son of Hathor. He also represented fertility and strength. Apis was sacrificed and reborn, and such a sacrifice symbolized renewal, transformation. Now, he also took the name Osiris Apis after he died. Keep in mind, the Osiris that Osiris was the god of fertility, agriculture, the afterlife, the DEAD, resurrection. And so perhaps in this instance, we should also consider Scorpio, right? Consider how Scorpio opposes Taurus in the zodiac. They make up this polarity of life and DEATH, survival on the earth and then the afterlife. In hindsight, I really do wish that I had taken this approach with all of the signs, thinking about their counterparts or their oppositions. But could it be suggested that this axis in the zodiac points towards something really, really important and profound? The hope of new life after DEATH, or the transformation of energy. How energy never really DIES, it is transformed into something else. It takes a different form. But then also just think about the underworld, that part of it too. So there is this element of, do you go to the underworld or do you go to the afterlife? And do you also consider how Isis and Osiris fell in love in the womb? So Horus was their son, and Horus also was married to Hether. Osiris is tied to the underworld, and then Horus is tied to the sky. There's something rather intertwining about all of these connections, sort of like a serpent, and the serpent is another symbol of Scorpio. This symbol is said to reflect the versatility and just this love of change associated with this sign. Consider how snakes shed their skin, they take different forms. But this is also about the battle of light versus dark. See, the opponent of Horus was Seth, and Seth was the Egyptian god of war, chaos, and storms. He was also the brother of Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Now, Horus and Seth would step into many competitions to see who would be king, and Horus beat Seth each time. Seth, K-I-LLED, Osiris, and Horus avenged his father by defeating Seth. Their combats are sometimes viewed as this battle between the spirit of light, personified as Horus, and then the spirit of darkness, personified as Seth. Perhaps we will explore more about this in the Scorpio mythology video, but let's move on to the Greek mythology of Taurus. And this one, Greek mythology, is my personal favorite. And perhaps the most well-known story tied to Taurus is the Greek story of Theseus and the Minotaur. Now, King Minos possessed a herd of bulls which were dedicated to the god Poseidon. Minos made a deal with Poseidon, promising him a beautiful white cow in exchange for mastery over the seas. However, Minos, I'm sorry about my mispronunciation if I am pronouncing anything incorrectly, but Minos was greedy and ended up cheating Poseidon by keeping the white cow to himself, whilst replacing the bull with a different specimen. Poseidon, furious, asks Aphrodite, aka Venus, to trouble King Minos's wife by enchanting her to have a wild lust for the white cow. It's this lust that was uncontrollable, and the desire was just so strong. She then disguised herself as a wooden bull and mated with the white cow. This resulted in the Minotaur being born, okay? So this was the half man, half bull creature. The Minotaur also feasted on human flesh and was enclosed in the labyrinth with nowhere to escape. Theseus, son of the king of Athens, set off to conquer the Minotaur, and with the help of Minos' daughter, he was able to KILL the Minotaur and exit the labyrinth safely. She actually gave him a ball of thread so that he could find his way back through the labyrinth. Now, Theseus went on to marry the daughter and was made king of Crete. He took on the title Minos. Again, mispronunciations there, I apologize. Still, through this story, we learn about the characteristics of Taurus, which are greedy, ravenous, possessive, and lavishly desirable, showing us the seductive and the gluttonous side of this archetype. There is a side to Taurus that can be wild, untamed, and finds it really hard to control their rampant desires. I think this side to Taurus is not often talked about. Lashing out is also likely when pressed or pushed hard enough. There can be this endless appetite, overindulgence, overspending, consumed by asexual desire, status too, valuing too many materials. There can be a superficial quality to this archetype where it's all about looks and money and material things and basking in the thought of others being jealous of what you have. We too can be jealous of others, of course, and we may try to possess them, seeing them as valuable goods. Think of how the Minotaur was half man and half bull. We recently explored such a duality, a similar duality through the sign of Sagittarius. And so there is this conflict between the human side and the beastly side. Sure, it can take Taurus a long time to know what it wants, but once it does, there is no stopping Taurus from getting what it desires, possibly becoming obsessed with the prize. And when this happens, it's just very, very difficult for Taurus to hold back from using its horns to get stuck in. But this is also about managing such strong desires instead of becoming blinded by greed or by lust or by whatever it may be. To look to the human side of Taurus, or to what Theseus represented in the myth, the ability to plan, the ability to move with intention, to move with purpose as well, to even look at your values. How strong are your values? How strong is your inner worth there too? To be deliberate as, a mission is executed with common sense. But such a strategy comes from the strong desire that Taurus possesses as well. Still, Taurus prefers simplicity. Taurus is not a big fan of convolutions or, nuance. You just need to tell it to Taurus straight, okay? Make the path clear, make the discussion, whatever it is, clear. And when the path is clear and things are explained simply, watch Taurus build something solid out of what it has. There's a permanence, when it comes to Taurus, and there's a permanence that Taurus seeks. The seeking of stability and the dislike as well of change. And this right here is where we notice the qualities Taurus can often lack. Qualities of flexibility, trying new things, exploring the undercurrents of life, spontaneity, and passion. Consider where Taurus sits in the Zodiac. Opposite Scorpio, the sign of transformation and addressing the hidden parts of the self. And then between signs Aries and Gemini. Aries is the hidden self of Taurus. Aries encourages Taurus to integrate qualities of passion, energy, drive, urgency as well. And Gemini correlates with the qualities Taurus is here to learn, the qualities Taurus grows into, qualities of adaptability, change, and also being flexible, being open. Through the mythology of Taurus, we recognize the qualities of the sign that are careful, practical, beautiful, committed, and steady. Even consider how Theseus married the king's daughter, right? So there's a sense of commitment there. And this is a sign that works hard when there is something that it wants bad enough. And the road to get there is, it's about approaching it in a steadfast and grounded way, in a steady way. And this is also a sign that takes its time. No rushing needed. And seeing as this sign is ruled by Venus, the desires Taurus possesses are usually fixed and loyal. Consider how Venus played a role in the mythology, indicating strong desires. There is no other way in Taurus's eyes. Consider also the unwavering quality of Taurus's values, investments, interests, skills, and so on. This sign prefers what is predictable, secure, productive, what is routine. This is a sign that can follow a routine very well. However, we also recognize qualities that can, of course, be greedy, possessive, lustful, overly asexual, ruled by desire, and is very, very gluttonous. The part of Taurus that just can't seem to say no to that extra handbag or that item of clothing. And if they enjoy designer, well, they will most likely seek a source of income to sustain such a lifestyle. Or they might turn to others for support. Indeed, there can be a side to Taurus that is hedonistic and will stop at nothing until they get what they want. Being told no is not something they like to hear. This sign can also be lazy, where they expect others to do the hard work whilst they receive the reward. Jealousy and possessiveness are also likely. Then again, perhaps we notice these qualities in the more like insecure, more immature Taurus types. And even though Taurus can possess such qualities, there's also loyalty to this sign. This sign can be firm, it can be like security orientated, and they will put in the work. Oh, yes, they will put in the work. They will be dedicated. By allowing the human side to step in, Taurus can achieve amazing, remarkable results. Indeed, through Taurus, we learn about the importance of value. Not just material value, but also inner value, inner security. And then when we are secure within ourselves, we trust in our own path, okay? Our personal journey. We trust and we show loyalty as well. And also, when we have physical security, like a roof over our head, food on the table, and so on, well, we're going to be much happier. When our basic survival needs are met, we feel content. We learn from this archetype that we all depend on the physical world to survive, whilst also giving thanks to what we have and to our physical bodies too. We nourish ourselves, we recognize the beauty and the value of our existence, and we want to ensure that we not only survive, but we enjoy the pleasures of life. But no matter what we have or don't have, our inner value is no more or less than another person's value. Taurus is the sign that says, I will provide for myself, making Taurus the sign that gets us thinking about our own physical and material security needs and desires. But overall, Taurus is here to provide and to maintain security. This stubborn bull wants to feel content and satisfied within their position. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video talking all about the mythology of Taurus. Please let me know if you found this video to be helpful today. Did you learn something new? I would really appreciate your feedback. And of course, I am learning as well. You can find all of the sources that I used in this video in the description box down below. And I also just want to say once again, thank you so much to my patrons over at Patreon. Thank you for all of your support. Yes, let me know your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section. But with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And of course, if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and also give this video a like if you did like it today. And I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye.